As if weddings aren't stressful enough for the bride, imagine if you had 2 weddings within a couple of weeks of each other. Well, that's what's happening to my model today, Jemma. She wrote to me and asked for some advice about covering vitiligo, which she's suffering from. And every time she's stressed, the vitiligo gets worse, and it's a vicious cycle because with the weddings looming. Now, she has 2 weddings. One is more Eastern and one's Western. So she's got a kind of English wedding, if you like. And she also has a Bengali style wedding, an Indian style wedding. And they're within a couple of weeks of each other. She sent me some really good references. So she had very strong ideas of how she wanted her makeup to look, but she was very nervous about making it look modern and fresh, and also being able to cover this vitiligo and have it last, have the coverage last. So I thought it was such an interesting dilemma that I invite her along, and we are going to kind of have a trial run of both looks today. So we're going to go straight into eyes. I'm going to use Urban Decay as a primer. We're going to do eyes first, you know, for the old reasons, that if any of the eye makeup drops down, we're starting nice and fresh on the base. So I'm going to start with your eyeshadow, but you have a little bit of vitiligo on your skin. You mentioned it when you wrote in. You don't mind not having your base done first?
No,
that's really
fine.
Nice of you, because obviously there's people at home who have vitiligo as well. How long have you had it?
Well, I started noticing it about 5 years ago.
Just close your eyes for me, Taylor.
And it was a bit of a shock because I literally just woke up one day and half of my face turned white. So that's one of the reasons why it's the first time I've actually showed people my face without makeup. So it's scary, but I'm happy to
share.
It. Yeah.
Yeah. So I actually forgot to show what we're starting with. So we're starting with this NARS palette, and we're going to be using this shade here. I just want to create like a natural shadow around the eye. So it was great that you sent your references. I love that you kind of really researched the kind of makeup you wanted. And
I think initially every single person just who's engaged checks out Pinterest, and all that came up with very romantic looking, blush looking makeup. It just wasn't very me.
Yeah. Just adding a tiny bit of gold here from the same palette. That gold is very intense, so I'm just going to buff that edge off there. So this is almost, compared to the next look, which has a lot more liner, it's almost like just a shaded eye for this one, which I think is a really nice balance because your lips are going to be quite intense. So just going in with the gold. You've got a lot of people for your...
Oh God, I've got too many people.
I know, it's nerve-wracking, isn't it?
There's way too many people.
It's so hard though, because you don't want to offend anybody, and
it's so political.
It's so political, and if you invite kind of one family member, and then there's cousins, and then there's friends of friends, and you can't upset anyone, it is stressful.
It's very stressful, which doesn't help my vitiligo either.
No, exactly. Just going underneath a little bit with a mixture actually between the darker brown colour and the gold. So I'm just going to clean up where we've dropped down a little bit there. Do you have any particular skincare that you use, or anything that you found helps, or do you think it is just for you, it is just stress that...
For me, that's really the distressing part of it, the fact that I've realised I can't actually put anything on my skin to make it better. I just have to try and chill out as much as possible.
Yeah.
And take as good care of my skin as possible. I mean, I've tried different diets, and I've tried cutting out gluten entirely. I heard that helps for some people, but it's just not helped for me at all.
Everyone's different.
Yeah.
And are there other members of your family that have it, or...?
No, I have 4 sisters.
Because it can be genetic.
Yeah, it is. And I have 4 sisters, and they're absolutely stunning, have the most amazing skin. They don't look after their skin. And
you really do.
And I really do.
Oh, that's just not fair.
No, but it's...
Yeah, it's the way life. You deal with stress, isn't it? Everyone's different. And you can have sometimes a gene, and then you manage to turn it on.
Yeah.
So I've just used the Laura Mercier. This is the Hydrating Primer. A thin layer all over. Let that sink in. And for base, I've chosen Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk in 6. This is a really true olive. But for your undertones, I'm adding just a hint of number 9, which just has the richness. And I think we're going to be on the right track with these two. So, gosh, waking up and having vitiligo overnight must have been...
It was horrible.
A horrible shock.
It was. It was a really stressful job. And I think that really unlocked it for me. My skin couldn't take it. My immune system couldn't take it. But it literally happened overnight. So I woke up and looked in the mirror and I had patches of white skin. And I didn't have anything.
Where were they? Which part of your face?
Mainly around my chin.
Okay.
And my forehead.
Yeah.
And it's grown since. But it was the fact that I didn't have anything. I wasn't prepared for it at all.
Yeah, you had nothing the day before, and then to wake up with that.
No.
Oh my God! I mean, if your stress levels weren't high already,
yeah, it makes
that
it
must
worse.
have made it 10 times worse.
Made it a lot worse. Made it, yeah. I remember just getting really depressed looking at the mirror because I never knew how I would look each day because it would change shape or some days I think it would go away, then the next day it would come back even bigger.
Oh my God. So on the first day when you woke up and you had it, did you know what it was then?
No, not at all.
You hadn't seen anyone with it before, or you had no knowledge of it?
No.
Oh,
it was so strange. It was very...
Poor thing.
It's a weird thing because it's quite a superficial... It's not dangerous in any shape, way or form. It's a superficial condition.
Yeah, but psychologically, it's hardly superficial, is it? Now that is already... We've got a bit more concealing to do, but I'm actually going to get you a mirror so you can see how beautiful this base is looking. Let me just get you a mirror. Have a look in there.
Oh my God.
See already? I mean, we've got concealing to do, but look how luminous and lovely that base is. And it's taking the edge off. Don't worry, we're going to conceal. We've got extra work to do, but as a nice base...
Really blurs it out.
Yeah, it's really blurring it out. And you've got beautiful skin. I mean, the
thank you.
texture of your skin is radiant and gorgeous.
Oh, that's nice.
And that's something you've got, you know. So all that looking after your skin that you've been doing is really paying off because the texture is really, really wonderful. So for concealing, actually, I'm not going to use a regular concealer. I'm going to use just more of the foundation, but apply it with a very small beauty blender. So I'm just going to start to pat the colour on, just where we need it. So it doesn't have to be all over. Just going to put a little bit more foundation on, because this is actually really good coverage if you build up with a sponge. And this way the colour will be more seamless because we're not using a different shade from your base.
My condition, I worry that my foundation will wear off and the patches will come out again.
Yes, I think my best tip on all of that would be just thin layers. I mean, buffing of your foundation in first as a thin layer is really helpful. And then just building up, you know, really pushing the makeup into the skin. And even if we need to put on another kind of layer, we kind of want to lock this all in before we start to move on to any other makeup. And I'm not going to use things like cream blush or cream highlighter and things that are going to disturb the base. So we're just going to take our time here to really get a nice even base with lots of thin layers, just building up and building up. Okay, so for under eyes, I'm going to use the lightest of the two foundation shades we mixed. And I'm mixing in with a little bit of this Dermacolor palette. I'm going to use a slightly... one with a hint of colour in it, so it's a slightly pinky peach shade. Actually, those two mixed in with the olive, so you can see it's a little bit brighter. It just brightens up. Look up for me. And
it's interesting using foundation instead of just concealer on its own.
Well, this is the way we have it all kind of stay in synergy, because if you're using one shade of foundation, which then is a completely different shade of concealer, maybe even from a different brand, there's just no correlation between all these different things, and it starts to look disjointed in a way. then I'm just going to blend that in with the foundation that was on here before, just to make sure that all those edges look good. Now I'm just going to put a light layer of powder. Look up for me. I'm not going to go crazy with the powder at the moment because, as I said, I want to do thin layers and I want to build up. And I don't want to make you look 100 years old either with too much powder, because it can be so aging. I'm just going to curl your eyelashes. Just look down for me. I'm just going to do your mascara. Right down to those roots. And massage out. If you need a break, just say, break.
Break.
Oh, blink, blink, blink. I know, it's so weird having someone else do your mascara. I don't think I could stand it.
No, I used to hate it.
Down. I think someone did once do my mascara and I really hated it. Well, you're getting really good now. Just going into those roots and lower lashes. Before I do the other side, I just want to try something. I know that we spoke about gold, but I'm thinking within this palette here that this shade, which is almost a pewtery shade, we've already used a bit of that. I think that'll be a really nice eyeliner because it'll just add light behind your lashes, and I'm going to put some individual false lashes on anyway, so I think this will be really pretty, and it will be a nice change from the big eyeliner that we're going to have in your second wedding. So close for me. Just going to wet it a little bit more. This might not work, but I just want to try it. It's open for me before I commit. I quite like that. Just take it thin into that inner corner. Now we already had a little bit of slightly golden shine there. Just going to bring that. So we've got this kind of shaded eye, but it has these lovely little hints of light in as well. And I'm going to use it dry now. I'm just going to put a little bit of that silvery colour just in the centre of your eyelid. You can't really see this, but just when you blink, you'll have a lovely little shiny flash there. Okay, let me do the other eye and then let's put some lashes on. And then I'm just going to add some individual lashes about 3/4 of the way across. We'll just let them dry and then see if we need any more. So while the lashes are drying, I'm just going to start to groom brows. Now that your base is settled, I'm going to powder. I'm going to use a slightly lighter one. This is the banana powder, as in the yellowish powder from Ben Nye. I'm going to use that around the centre of your face. And because we're going to be using powder products to highlight and blush and contour, I'm going to use regular powder. This is Chanel loose powder, just around the edge here, just so that the contour and all the powder products I'm about to use go on really seamlessly. So for contouring, I'm using a matte Guerlain bronzer. Some gentle contouring is really great for photography because it's going to shape and define your face and really bring out that beautiful bone structure. I've chosen more of a berry toned blush because you've chosen a really deep burgundy lip colour. A nice choice, I think, because it's really bold and a little bit less traditional.
I mean, I absolutely love red lipstick, and I probably inherited that from my mum. But I think in our culture as well, in Indian culture, it means a lot, and it's very bridal to have red lipstick. It's really feminine, but it's kind of a sign of strength as well. Mm-hmm. And I know that in your book you write about it a lot, and the colour red and what it means.
Yes.
It's actually inspired me to do my masters in a couple of years because I studied genetics for my degree, and I really want to, and I really want to learn more about the history and the cultural definitions of beauty. So I'm going to do an anthropology masters.
Oh, fantastic!
Yes.
Oh, well done. God, we'll have to chat again then.
Definitely.
I'd love to talk more about that. So I've chosen this shade, which, based on the picture you sent me, I think is a really good choice. Very, very deep, kind of luscious colour. Let's try that. I'm going to put a layer on first. This is not a matte one, so what I'm going to do is put a layer of this on. A bit like we did your base, we're going to kind of build up. So I'm going to follow your natural lip shape to start with and create more of a stain than anything. Just smile for me slightly. So I'm just going to blot there, and then take a lip pencil. Let's see which is going to be a good shade. I think this one. And now I'm going to create a second stain over the top, and this I can use to create my shape as well. Okay, I've actually changed my mind. I'm going to change to this MAC because it's matte, and I think it will look good to have a matte, really intense dark colour rather than a satin finish. So this will help it to stay on because we've got a thin layer of lipstick and then pencil and now another layer of lipstick, really pushing it into the lips. So for highlighter, I've chosen this shade, which looks a little bit light initially, but it's very golden, and when it's blended out, I think it looks gorgeous with your skin tone. So you've put your jewellery on, which I must say is amazing. I'm going to contact this woman. I'm going to put a link to the designer. What's her name?
Kelly Spence.
Okay, I'm going to put a link because I think for bridal jewellery, this is so beautiful. So that's you all ready for your Western wedding, and you look gorgeous. Now we need to make a few changes for your Bengali wedding. Let's go. Okay, so we've changed the lip to red. Mm-hmm. So this is Isabella matte lipstick.
Gorgeous.
Very nice colour on you. And added some longer individuals. So we've got more of this slightly wingy shape with the lashes. Now I'm going to do liner. So what was your inspiration for this particular look?
The Bengali wedding.
Bengali wedding, yeah.
I was so obsessed with old Bollywood when growing up, and my sisters are so much older than I am, so that's what I kind of grew up watching, not new Bollywood. So my dad's obsessed with old Bollywood films as well.
I love old Bollywood.
I know. So yeah, I've always loved how they look, very timeless but very strong.
Yes.
So yeah, I've always thought when I get married, I would love to look like, you know, Rekha or Shabila Tagore. They were very Bengali looking as well.
Yeah,
so.
yeah, beautiful.
Yeah.
So we're going to do a strong liner. Great. Right, I'm going to use Grandiose. Let me give it a shake. So starting right at the roots of the lashes, coating those roots, and then straight away building up all the way along the lash line. Nice and thin at the inner corner. And of course, no vintage Bollywood inspired makeup would be complete without a really fabulous strong wing at the outer corner. And then I'm just going to wing this out a little bit more. What I'm actually going to do as well, which is not the nicest, is I'm just going to do a little tight line. Look, actually look over here for me. Look down, look down, look down. I'll go very fast. How's that?
Sounds really quick.
Yeah? You okay?
Yeah, I'm fine.
And then taking some black powder shadow from the palette just along the lower lash line. And to finish this eye, I'm going to apply a deep bronze eye pencil along the waterline. Okay, Gemma, you've got your outfit on. Wow, this looks amazing. And your sister made your dress. That's so sweet.
Yes, my sister's an amazing designer. I'm really lucky that she's designing my wedding dress.
So you are ready, my darling. You look stunning. This look on you, this vintage Bollywood vibe is just so beautiful.
It just looks more modern as well.
Wow, your husband is gonna, his jaw is gonna drop when he sees you.
Thank you very much. I'm so
You're
excited.
welcome.